So let me tell you what's really crazy about TikTok is that people don't have any filter whatsoever. I witnessed family fights. I witnessed people sitting on the toilet getting hot. Without further ado, we're about to watch these zero chill story times. I love drama, okay? My zodiac says that and it's just true. It is what it is. So without further ado, let's go straight to today's video. Let me know in the comments which story time was your favorite.
Story time about how my parents forced me to marry a 40-year-old man when I was 14, but most people from my country, it is called arranged marriage. And it happened to a lot of girls. My family was poor, but the guy I was marrying had a lot of money and promised to take care of me and my family. He also had a 6-year-old son, but he didn't like me. I had met him once before when my mother introduced me to stay with him alone. He was very touchy. He told me I was very beautiful and would spoil me because pretty girls like me deserve pretty things. After he left, I told my parents that I was scared to marry him and that I'll do more housework and I'll take care of my other little sisters. My father yelled at me and told me no. My makeup. After we had got married, a couple months later, he grew very abusive. Part 2 will be up next. This is part 2 of how my parents forced me to marry a 40-year-old man and I was 14. So we got married and a couple months into the relationship, he became abusive. Whenever my food tasted nasty or something wasn't clean right, he called me a lazy wife and told me I was no good and he should have married someone else. His 6-year-old son had no respect for me. The little boy scratched me, would yell at me, throw stuff.
This is like so off topic, but her makeup looks so bomb. I love the purple eyeshadow that she did. It's so nice.
Wouldn't do anything about it. I would tell him that I didn't like how his son was treating me, and he stood up and tells me to stay in my place and tells me I'm just a bad mother. I'd cry.
What's been happening in some village because what, like listening to this, you guys should understand how blessed you are to live the life that you are living, because imagine getting married to a 40-year-old when you're 14. 14, I was watching That's So Raven every day and eating popcorn. That was what I was doing, and this poor girl had to go through that at the age of 14. Wow.
16, I found out I was pregnant. He was so happy about it.
I thought the story is gonna end with her running away at age 14, but she was there with him for 2 years and got pregnant.
And for once, he treated me so sweet. He would cook for me, clean, and told his son to be nice because his little brother was in there. When we found out the baby was a girl, he got mad and walked out on me. Part 3 will be up next.
I thought I was dating my own brother. Yes, biological brother, same mom, same dad.
Girl, what?
For a little background information, my mom passed away when I was 2, my dad is currently in jail, and I live with my grandma. So at the time, I was 14, about to be 15. He was 17, about to be 18. So how this all started is one day I was at the baseball game with my friends, and he happened to be there. I was fangirling over this boy. Like, I saw him, and I was like,
oh my god, what? Like,
going to marry him one day. I was feeling a little bold, so I went over and got his snap, and then I figured out that he had the same last name as me, and I was like, dude, that is dope. My exact words were, now I don't have to change my last name when we get married.
Little did you know.
So we hung out the rest of the baseball game, and I was starting to fall in love with this kid. Like, his smile, his laugh, I talked about him to my friends the rest of it.
She's narcissistic because she's falling in love with somebody who probably looks like her, so she's like really in love how she looks, so she is her own type, so now she's getting at somebody who looks like her.
Him started snapping for a while. So we started to hang out a lot. We may have hooked up a couple times, but I had to keep this all a secret.
I know this is not a funny matter, but like I just can't, like when I get nervous or anxious, like I start turning into like laughing mode because I just like, it heals me.
She forbade I dated somebody. So fast forward a couple weeks, we start dating. Months and months and months go by. Our 9 months come and I finally tell my grandma. And this is where it gets bad. I'm ready to get a time like for
By the way, she's so pretty and the makeup she did is so nice.
The story, me and his 9 months were coming up. Also, he was adopted and his foster family absolutely adored me, so they were okay with me keeping it a secret from my grandma. They were the ones to help me tell her. So not only were our 9 months coming up, but his birthday was the next day. And he told me the only thing that he wanted for his birthday was for my part of the family to know that we were together. So one day I sat down at the table and I was like, hey, I think it's about time that I tell you. And then I told her everything and she asked for a picture. I showed her a picture and she was like, "Aw, he's cute. How old is he?" At first she was okay with everything, and the age difference she was kind of iffy about, but then she accepted it.
Her makeup is just as interesting as her freaking story.
For his name, she said last name, gave her the last name, and she flipped out. She took my phone, didn't give me an explanation, and told me that if I ever spoke to him again, I would never be allowed out of the house. Finally, after she calmed down, she came to tell me that he was my brother. She asked if we had did anything, and I of course said no, but yes, we did.
Okay.
I'm running out of time, like for part 3.
I don't think I'm ready for part 3 at this point. Ooh.
Storytime. So I work at a jewelry store. Today a man came in looking for a gift for his wife for their 10th year anniversary.
Okay.
He ended up picking out a piece that said, "My beautiful wife." And I said,
Okay.
"Anything else for you today?" And he said, "No, that's it for her, but I do want to make another purchase using a separate credit card. And could you possibly create a different account for me?" And I said, "Sure, what are you looking for?" And he
Okay.
said, "Do you have anything that says girlfriend?" And I said, "Yes."
Oh.
And he said, "Perfect, I'll take it." "And do you have anything that says happy 1-year anniversary to go with it?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Perfect, I'll take it."
Damn, this store has it all. Does it say Milana loves chocolate? We have it. We have it. Perfect. I'll take it.
Packed everything up all nice, and I put them in their respective bags. He had me mark a K for Kristen on the bottom of his wife's bag,
Oh,
and
that's
an
smart.
L for Laura on the bottom of his girlfriend's bag. I put pretty bows on them. I handed it to him. I said, "They're gonna love it. Have a nice day." And he said, "Thank you." And shit, I just remembered that his wife's name is Laura, and his girlfriend's name is Kristen.
You just messed up this whole man's life, and he deserves it. He deserves it. Literally make Netflix original series based on these 60-second stories. Am I right? Am I right?
Car for a stranger. Back in the 80s, there was this teenager who was speeding home because he didn't want to get yelled at for missing curfew, and the only way to get home was to take this back road that was completely made of dirt. It was in the country. It had no lighting other than his crappy dim headlights. So he's hauling ass down this dirt road, and suddenly he sees this man
By the way, I've always wanted to try that makeup technique where you put concealer and you outline, but I'm just so nervous. Like, it's so out of my comfort zone. Like,
dirt road. So he slams on his brakes, starts sliding on the dirt, and it ends up hitting this guy. So the teenager gets out of the car, he checks the guy, he has a pulse, but he's unconscious. So he picks him up and puts him in his back seat. So he drives 35 minutes to the
oh, well, this was back in the day, so maybe no cell phones?
nearest hospital, and this was before cell phones, so he
Oh.
calls his parents once he gets to the hospital and says what happened, and the parents come and sit and wait with him to find out if he killed the guy or not. So the doctor comes out and says to the teenager, "He's okay, but we're actually kind of glad that you hit him." He's so confused and he asks why. It turns out a lot of people had been going to the hospital because this man would stand in the middle of dirt roads, wait for them to stop, beat them up, rob them, and run away. He even killed somebody and just left them there for somebody else to pick up and take to the hospital. The police were looking for this man for days, and this teenager just had him in his back seat.
This is a bittersweet story, am I right? That's interesting, but what makes it scary is that it was back in the day. Any story back in the day makes you feel some kind of way.
Story time to when I found out my sugar daddy and my best friend were sleeping together. So my sugar daddy would always give me money and would take me out shopping.
Monday, we love sugar daddy who gives us money.
Take me to visit different cities with him, and I would take them as well. And sometimes I would just go alone with him. Anytime I didn't take my two best friends, there would always be one that would get mad. I really didn't understand why. She would always ask me why I didn't take them. One day I had her phone and
Cause he's my sugar daddy and he's not your daddy. Okay. I'm gonna say something that might offend a lot of people, but if your best friend can be happy for you and gets mad when you're happy, she ain't your best friend, okay? That's just it. Like,
found out that he was texting her. So I asked her why she had his number. She told me that he gave her
what do you mean? Your sugar daddy is my sugar daddy. I'm your best friend, you're my best friend, okay? Like, we share things together. We had the same situation with my now husband where my friend was messaging him, but then she tried to turn it around on him. It was this whole thing, and I just cut her off right away because I'm like, bro, like, you're literally trying to cause me and him to get in a fight because you're texting him and you're making it seem like he's texting. And it was just this whole thing.
which was pretty awkward because I would always have my phone. One day, my sugar daddy and I were supposed to go out of the city, and I was calling and texting him and he wouldn't answer. So I went to hang out with my two friends. But that same girl that had his number wasn't home. Follow for part 2.
I don't even need part 2 because I already know what's about to go down.
Please be cautious if you ever speak to someone over the internet. So when I
We love warnings because we know the story is going to be juicy. Let's go.
was 14 and still in high school, my local area was going through a weird stage where someone was trying to contact a lot of the 14-year-olds and see if they wanted to join an escort agency. This was done over Facebook, and of course most of the girls just ignored these messages.
She's very, very violent and aggressive with her makeup. Girl, wrinkles.
And I thought it'd be funny if we ended up messaging
my
this person
God.
back. Obviously bad idea.
I'm gonna trust the process. I'm not even listening to the story. I'm trying to take in her makeup skills right now because this
We're not
is
serious about meeting up with this person. We really just thought it was a big joke. However, once I was by myself, I continued to message this person. They kept commenting on how beautiful
Ooh, that lipstick is so nice on
I
her.
was and said that I was like a sister to them. I was obviously very impressionable at 14 years old and was wanting all the attention I could get. So I continued to message the person on the other side of the phone for the next couple of weeks, not realizing that I was being groomed. After the next couple of weeks, I was sitting in class and I got an extremely panicked message from my mom saying that I need to come home immediately and that she needs my phone. I guess a family friend of ours had told her about the messages and had also seen a lot of the escort advertisements. So my mom read through the messages, quickly called the police, and the conclusion was to block the account and be more careful next time. I thought it was case closed, but I was wrong. Stay tuned for part 2 and follow.
That sucks.
Or who found out that I was hooking up with her boyfriend for 3 months straight. So a little background information. I was in high school, and there was this boy.
So this girl just came out. She's gonna expose herself.
I had a crush on him since I was in like 7th grade. And the only time he would talk to me is whenever he wanted me to send him nudes. Well, in high school he got a girlfriend. But while he was dating her, he would still ask me for nudes. And of course I would still send them.
Send me nudes, please. Okay. Please, anybody watching this, please don't send nudes. I don't understand how nudes are a thing at this point. Like, why? Why were they ever a thing?
Well, the summer before my junior year, I got a job at this restaurant. Well, almost every single day, the guy that I liked would bring his girlfriend in. Because guess what? His dad owned the restaurant. We're gonna call this boy Alex. Well, the one night I was supposed to close with this girl, but she ended up having to leave because of a family thing. So Alex came in to help me
I'm just not feeling the makeup so far.
close. And while we were there, we were talking. And this was like the longest that we ever talked. Well, he said, do you want to come over to my house after we're done? So a bitch said yes. And we did the nasty and he took me home in the morning.
Nudes and nasty? Wow, girl. Wow.
Well, then he started coming in often to help me close. 3 months later, as I'm closing, his girlfriend and her friends walk in like for part 2.
I don't want part 2 to that story. I'm sorry. No, thank you. These stories are heartbreaking, but some of them are just too much and I can't believe they're real stories. Comment down below which one was your favorite. By favorite, I mean the one that you still cannot believe is real. For me, it's the siblings affair. Like, to me, that's just anyways, I'm gonna go now. I love you guys so much. Let me know in the comments down below what you'd like for me to react to next. I will definitely do so. And yeah, I love you guys so much and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.